if I told you that right now, at this very moment, the world stands closer to nuclear war than at any point since the Cuban Missile Crisis? Two nuclear superpowers, armed with weapons capable of ending civilization as we know it, are locked in a dangerous game of brinkmanship. This isn't a movie. This isn't fiction. This is happening right now. For nearly 4 years, Russia has waged a brutal war in Ukraine. A conflict that Vladimir Putin assured the world would last just days has dragged on, consuming hundreds of thousands of lives and reshaping the global order. President Donald Trump, frustrated by Putin's refusal to negotiate, believed he could end the war through diplomacy and pressure. He was wrong. In October 2025, Trump issued an ultimatum to Moscow: end the war or face consequences. He dangled the promise of a summit in Budapest, a chance for Putin to save face while bringing the killing to an end. But Putin dismissed the offer. Instead, the Kremlin doubled down, demanding that the West address what it called the root causes of the conflict. Essentially, accept Russian territorial gains and Ukraine's neutrality. Trump's patience ran out. On October 22nd, the White House announced massive sanctions targeting Russia's two largest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil. These aren't just any companies. Together, they export over 3 million barrels of oil per day, generating billions of dollars that fund Putin's war machine. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made the administration's position crystal clear. Now is the time to stop the killing. The sanctions sent shockwaves through global energy markets. Oil prices jumped 5% overnight. Major buyers like China and India scrambled to adjust their supply chains. But more importantly, these sanctions represented something unprecedented. For the first time, the United States was directly attacking the economic engine that powers Russia's ability to wage war. Putin's response was swift and terrifying. Within days of the sanctions announcement, Russia began showcasing its most advanced nuclear weapons systems in what can only be described as nuclear saber-rattling on an unprecedented scale. First came the announcement of the Burevestnik missile, known in the West as the Storm Petrel. This isn't your grandfather's cruise missile. The Burevestnik is powered by a nuclear reactor, giving it theoretically unlimited range. During its test, the missile flew an astonishing 14,000 kilometers. That's over 8,000 miles, staying airborne for approximately 15 hours. Putin called it a unique weapon that no other country possesses, a weapon that is virtually impossible to intercept. But the Burevestnik was just the opening act. Days later, Putin revealed something even more disturbing: the successful test of the Poseidon nuclear-powered underwater torpedo. Imagine a torpedo that can travel over 6,000 miles underwater, carrying a nuclear payload powerful enough to devastate entire coastal cities. The Poseidon is designed to create massive radioactive tsunamis that could render coastlines uninhabitable for generations. Putin claimed its power significantly exceeds that of Russia's most advanced intercontinental ballistic missiles. And there's more. Putin also announced that the infamous Sarmat missile, nicknamed Satan II by Western analysts, will soon be deployed. This intercontinental ballistic missile is widely considered the world's deadliest nuclear weapons delivery system, capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads and penetrating any missile defense system currently in existence. To underscore these threats, Putin personally oversaw massive nuclear triad exercises with long-range missiles test-launched from land, sea, and air. Russia was sending an unmistakable message: we are prepared for nuclear war. For weeks, the White House tried to downplay Putin's nuclear posturing. Trump dismissed it as inappropriate and told reporters that Putin should focus on ending the war instead of testing missiles. But behind the scenes, the situation was escalating rapidly. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, now serving as deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, began making increasingly inflammatory statements about Russia's nuclear capabilities. Then came Trump's countermove. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, the president revealed something that sent chills down the spines of military analysts worldwide. The United States has positioned nuclear submarines right off Russia's shores. Trump's words were carefully chosen but unmistakably threatening. We have the greatest nuclear submarine in the world right off their shores. These weapons don't need to travel 8,000 miles to reach their targets. Intelligence sources suggest these submarines are likely Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines, each capable of carrying 20 Trident missiles with multiple nuclear warheads. These submarines can strike Moscow from anywhere in the Atlantic, Pacific, or Arctic Oceans. Their locations are among the most closely guarded secrets in the US military. The fact that Trump publicly acknowledged their deployment near Russia represents an extraordinary escalation. But Trump didn't stop there. In a move that stunned arms control experts, he announced that the United States would resume nuclear weapons testing for the first time in decades. The announcement came just hours after Putin's latest nuclear weapons reveal, suggesting a tit-for-tat escalation that many feared would never return after the Cold War. We are now witnessing something unprecedented in the post-Cold War era. Two nuclear superpowers openly brandishing their most destructive weapons, testing new nuclear delivery systems, and positioning strategic forces in direct proximity to each other's territories. This isn't just rhetoric. These are concrete military moves that significantly increase the risk of miscalculation. The parallels to the Cuban Missile Crisis are impossible to ignore, but there are crucial differences. In 1962, both sides had experienced the devastation of World War II and understood the stakes of nuclear war. Today's generation of leaders has no such memory. Moreover, the weapons involved are exponentially more destructive. The Poseidon torpedo alone could release more radioactive material than all the nuclear tests of the Cold War combined. Military analysts describe the current situation as nuclear brinkmanship, each side trying to demonstrate resolve and capability without actually wanting war. But brinkmanship is dangerous precisely because it assumes both sides will back down before the situation spirals out of control. History teaches us that's not always the case. The stakes couldn't be higher. Russia and the United States together possess over 90% of the world's nuclear weapons, thousands of warheads, each many times more powerful than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A full-scale nuclear exchange between these two powers would mean the end of human civilization. Nuclear winter, radiation poisoning, the collapse of agriculture, the breakdown of society. This isn't hyperbole. This is what scientists have modeled for decades. So where does this leave us? The diplomatic path seems closed. The Budapest summit is cancelled. Putin refuses to negotiate without maximalist demands. Trump's sanctions are biting, but they haven't changed Russia's calculus. Both sides are now demonstrating their nuclear capabilities in ways we haven't seen since the 1980s. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will cooler heads prevail? Will back-channel diplomacy find a way out? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new Cold War, one that could turn hot with catastrophic consequences? The world is watching, holding its breath, as two men with their fingers on nuclear buttons engage in the most dangerous game of chicken in human history. One thing is certain. We are living through a moment that future historians, if there are any, will look back on as a critical turning point. The decisions made in the coming weeks and months will determine whether humanity survives this crisis or whether we stumble into the unthinkable. The nuclear clock is ticking, and we're all out of time. This is Daily Junkie, bringing you the news that matters when it matters most. If this story opened your eyes to the reality we're facing, make sure to stay connected with us. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow us, because in times like these, staying informed isn't just important, it's essential. The world is changing faster than ever, and we're here to make sense of it all. Stay with Daily Junkie. Stay informed. Stay ahead.